45 degrees out here, and we've been away for a little bit. Admittedly, we came down with somewhat of a stomach bug this past week, so not gonna go into too much detail other than I ruined some good lamb stew the night that I got it. So I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about that. We're gonna give you guys an update today on what's going on the farm. Life continues, as you may imagine. You know, can't really take too much time away, so continue to feed the animals along the way. We actually just processed a pig this past weekend. Was for my in-laws, so exciting to see how that one is going to turn out for us. And that pig, like I alluded to in our last video, is going to be the first one that we're actually taking to a shop. They actually took it to a butcher, somebody with some actual knife skills rather than myself. So we'll see kind of the difference there. I'm very happy with how the weight or how that animal turned out. It actually finished out a little over 220 pounds. Hanging weight was pretty much right in the ballpark of where you'd want it to be. At about 60% is your rule of thumb. Hanging weight was 132. So a pretty good size hog there. We're excited to just kind of see how it breaks out for us. And obviously I got my partner in crime with me, so he'll be commenting along the way. But with the warm weather, it's always nice to just get out here and enjoy it a little bit. We're also getting some green growth for the first time this year, so exciting. We'll take a look at the pasture. You're all done? All right, we're all done here. Let's get some hay. You think that's enough? No. Mess. Yeah. Yes. This hay is definitely a little bit of a mess. So we just picked up some hay. We are down to our last bale and a half. Our neighbor Alan just dropped a bale off for me today, which was nice. Hopefully going to be our last bale of hay for the winter here. You know, as we start getting this growth, I'll be looking to, or anxiously looking to get the animals back out on pasture. You guys know our sheep have been corralled up a little bit, trying to avoid overgrazing our winter pasture, and we've done a pretty good job. They stayed out most of the winter. So I'm certainly pleased with kind of how long they lasted. That's considering a drought last fall. Had we not had such a severe drought, we may have actually made it at least out on the pasture. Of course, we would have supplemented with hay, but hey, that's all part of winter farming. One observation that I've definitely made is when you're hay feeding your animals, they're definitely going to drink a lot more. So anybody that's starting out, think about that as you're planning if you're going to overwinter some animals. You guys in the south, again, I envy you because you're going to have some decent forage all throughout the year that your animals probably won't drink as much, although they will still continue to increase their water intake. Oh, Betsy, you're spraying me. So over here with the pigs, guys, as you can see, we are down to pretty much the little guys at this point. We got Betsy, our longtime sow here, is our largest pig left. She's probably, you know, judging off the weight of the pig that we just processed, she's probably about 250, 260-ish pounds. The others are pretty small. We got a couple that are obviously a little bit bigger, but in terms of pigs and grow out, they're definitely much smaller. Just goes to show you get that American guinea hog genetic in there and you're gonna have a long time to grow an animal out. That being said, it is the time of year that we're gonna start considering potentially getting another breed here. It's ultimately my goal, but we got to figure out what we're going to do with these guys first. Obviously, some of these will be used for our own consumption. We'll see if we can sell a couple off here as they grow out. Ideally, if it were a perfect world, I would actually bring in another breed and keep these guys somewhere separate until we go through them. But that's also a lot of work, as you guys know. I don't know if we're going to quite have the time for it this spring. We got a ton of other projects that we have going on. On top of that, we're working on some house projects right now, so it never stops. And I'm also looking to move these guys out of here. They've kind of outstayed their welcome for the winter. This was kind of their winter paddock. They've definitely done their damage. We had some hard rains on Sunday night, I believe that was, which anytime you get hard rain and about 15 pigs, you're gonna have a mess. So it's time to get them out of here again. As soon as we get some growth, we will get them in the next paddock over, and then the pigs can forage and do what pigs do. Here they come, bud. We're over at the sheep. As you guys can see in front of you, our 5 lambs right here. Isn't it amazing how quickly they grow? These guys are about 3 weeks old at this point. They'll be 4 weeks on Friday, at least 4 of them. And they have shot up, full of energy, full of life. They're found running around here all day, hopping around a lot of times. Anyone that has seen lambs before, for some reason they hop off all 4s. It's the funniest thing if you catch it on camera. So hopefully here we can do that when they're running around in here. Aside from watching these guys grow like weeds, really not a whole lot has changed with our sheep. We thought we had some potential for some more lambs. One of our girls right here I thought was potentially bred. It's getting a little late to not see really any signs, so I'm starting to have my doubts here that we're gonna have any more. But needless to say, you know, we had 5 lambs this year. It's definitely been our most successful season, as I talked about in our last video. So we'll definitely take it. I mean, we really had minimal issues this year. We had the one that was lost due to some ram interference, but aside from that, it's definitely been a smooth year. So certainly thankful for that. We'll watch these guys continue to grow. And speaking of growth, you guys see it. Grass is starting to green up as Dawson's checking the pasture here. And I would say one lesson for anyone that's starting off with ruminants and, you know, beginning grazing animals, really, you know, focus on not overgrazing your winter pasture. A lot of times you think you have enough space, and then obviously the conditions change, whether it's a drought like we had or whatever it may be. I think a lot of those other practices that you hear all the time as far as rotational grazing and pasture management strategies, they're all great. You know, it's all something we're striving to get better at. But if you're putting yourself in a bad position with overgrazing in the winter, your growth is really going to struggle here in the early spring. We were on the fringe of that this year. We got them off, I believe, in time, as you guys can see. And I think, full transparency, I think the only reason we didn't get into a complete overgrazing state is because this pasture is pretty large. Otherwise, we definitely would have been in that predicament. But anyway, we are getting the growth back already here in mid-March. This stuff is going to come up so fast. Give it a couple of weeks and everything here is going to be so green. It's still going to be, you know, a good amount of time till the animals get out on this pasture, being that they sat here all winter. So you're probably looking at about May until they really hit this side. We'll get them over into our east pasture, which we managed much better. The grass is still relatively high over there, although it be brown, but that stuff will start to green up and get that undergrowth coming in. So I'm hoping here hopefully mid-April or so we get them over there. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. Try to avoid overgrazing. It's just going to set you up for success come springtime. If you have to use hay or supplemental feed, so be it. Obviously, our goal here is to be 100% grass-fed, so we did not use any feed, but we're fortunate enough to have plenty of hay on hand to supplement these animals over winter. I mean, all of that being said, this land has transformed quite a bit in 2 years already. You know, I'm really excited to see what comes up in the spring, because this was a weedy mess, this field, and it's definitely progressively gotten better year over year. So we'll see what happens. We did see this side this past year, and it is interesting because this side is definitely a little greener right now than the original. So you would like to think that had something to do with it as well. All of that being said, we are definitely going to continue to work on our grazing practices. I want to get a little more strict with intensively grazing these animals in a smaller rotational setup. So at some point we'll get some posts in here, whether we run vertical up the hill and run horizontal strands or netting or whatever it might be. Probably not going to deal with netting. You guys know the challenges we've had with those Christmas trees. I don't know if I'm ready to go back to using netting all the time. So we'll probably run something more of a semi-permanent line going vertical up the hill, and again, strands across, which will be able to move the animals from paddock to paddock up the hill. By doing so, we're going to be able to control the grazing a little bit better, because sheep are going to go all over the place. If you give them a hillside like this, they will literally walk circles around this hillside grazing. Obviously, they're going to pick and choose what they graze down. It's going to be a little more sporadic, which is going to be harder for you to promote the growth that you really want in your pasture. So you confine them to a smaller paddock, you get them graze it down clean. Obviously, you don't want to go too low, and then you move them on to the next paddock. We're done. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a man on a mission. Not sure what's going on over here. So anyway, guys, as I go to wrangle up my littlest lamb, just want to get out here, get you guys an update today. Beautiful weather means we get to get out here and get a lot done. Oh, we had a spill. Enjoy it with the kids. They get to get out a little more frequently, which is awesome as well. And we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on here as spring progresses. It's been a little bit, I understand that, so apologize. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll be with you soon.